Right now, someone weaker than you is winning. Why? Because they look more certain. They speak without hesitation. They act like they deserve everything, and the world believes them. Meanwhile, you hesitate. You overthink. You explain. You apologize for existing in rooms that were built with your labor. And every time you do, you sell your mind for a nod. This is not a motivational video. This is an extraction. We're going to remove the code that makes you shakeable, not inspired. Rewritten. Machiavelli didn't worship courage. He worshiped custody. Custody of breath. Custody of posture. Custody of reply. When the court pressed, he did not perform. He measured. He decided. He ended. That's what you will learn here. 7 ruthless lessons that make you mentally untouchable. Today, you take the first 3 and you practice them until the room can't move you with praise, with pressure, or with silence. Lesson 1. Kill the need to be understood. You think the problem is confidence. It isn't. It's dependency. You need to be understood before you act. You need approval before you decide. You need a guarantee before you move. Understand this. The world is not arranged for your clarity. The world is arranged by the person who acts without needing an audience. Machiavelli's rule: power doesn't belong to the best. It belongs to the most certain. Certainty is not a feeling. It's a behavior repeated under heat. Here's the choreography. Freeze. Frame. Finish. Freeze. You exhale before you speak. Not a gasp. A release. 2 seconds of quiet that tell your nervous system the throne is still yours. Frame. You name the law or the mission, not your feelings. Finish. 1 sentence, 7 words or fewer. Silence after. Let the quiet invoice the room. Because is a bribe you pay to be allowed to be clear. You will stop paying. Kill the need to be understood in 3 drills. The stone breath. Before every reply, text, call, meeting, exhale for 6 counts. Then speak on the last 2. Your pitch drops a note. Your pulse obeys. The 2-sentence decree. Decisions must live inside 2 sentences. 1 link, 1 date. No apologies. If you need more, you don't need more words. You need a signer or an ending. If the page is empty, your calendar is lying about your power. You will feel rude. Good. That feeling is the soundtrack of your dependency dying. Lesson 2. Decide, don't debate. Debate is where power goes to get diluted. You're getting captured. Every paragraph is a confession that you believe your reality is negotiable. Deciders don't fight for points. They set prices for access. Your new mouth has 5 blades. That's incorrect. Rush rate or standard. That's phase 2 or an add-on. Notice the geometry: short, final, binary, silence. You do not shout. You weigh. Machiavelli again, without the costume. Appear open, be gated. Appear generous, be scheduled. Appear flexible, be welded. You can be warm, but your warmth must walk on a floor of law. The 3 frames of a ruler. Mission frame. We reject anything that doesn't protect the outcome. If it adds chaos, it dies. If it adds clarity, it lives. You say, we're off mission, and move on. Money frame. Oxygen costs. You don't explain the economy of your time. You invoice it. Time frame. Your pace is the room's metronome. Speak 20 to 30% slower when pressed. End sentences with stillness. Count 5 after you decide. Predators don't flutter. They measure. Install the frames with this weekly cadence. Monday, gates. Publish 2 openings. Tuesday, 2. Thursday, 10. No exceptions. If one must exist, price it. No story. Stone. Thursday, endings. And 1 drifting thread when the law is mocked. We're off mission. Friday, floor. Raise 1 minimum by 10%. Your floor is not a feeling. It's a schedule. You believe debate makes you liked. Decision makes you remembered. Remembered becomes respected. Respected becomes paid. Lesson 3. Make your emotions obey the mission. You don't become untouchable by becoming numb. You become untouchable by making your emotions work for you. Pain becomes signal. Anger becomes fuel. Praise becomes data. Nothing gets to steer. The room tries to buy your reactions. They insult you to get your explanations. They flatter you to get your discounts. They rush you to get your panic. You will not sell. Say it before you answer. Say it when you want to explain. Say it when the pause feels like drowning. The emotion triage. Insult? Observe. Do not defend. Answer with a blade, not a biography. Scope or date. Flattery? Policy. Smile once, then stone. Thank you. Urgency. Invoice. Speed is available at the rush rate. Confusion. Question. Silence after. If they can't answer, it isn't a decision. It's theater. You don't tour the stage. You close the door. Doubt. Drill. Doubt doesn't vanish with compliments. It vanishes with choreography. Do the stone breath. Do the 2-sentence decree. Do the exit rep. End at the second interruption. Doubt obeys repetition. Machiavelli feared dependency more than enemies. Dependency is when your state belongs to the room. You will make your state belong to you. The 6 micro-cues of sovereignty. Exhale first. You never answer on inhale. Inhale is pray. Exhale is rule. Lower the note. Drop your pitch by 1 step on your first word. Calm is heavier than loud. Shorter sentences. 5 to 7 words. End with still hands. The room feels punctuation it cannot see. 1 head tilt, then stone. Shows you heard, shows you won't be herded. Feet flat. Heels down. Sprinting posture is begging posture. You are not begging. Silence after the verdict. 5 seconds that make the room pay attention with discomfort instead of you paying with paragraphs. Your calendar must protect this discipline or your mouth will betray you. So you make your calendar a guard, not a guest. Calendar law. 2 windows weekly. Everything else is closed. No signer, no meeting. No deposit, no date. Missed appointments move to the back. Exceptions are priced or scheduled. Correct. Cold is controlled. Cold keeps medicine sterile and outcomes alive. Now we pressure test the first 3 lessons with live scenes so your hands stop shaking in theory. We can reduce scope to match your number or keep scope at my rate. Silence. You don't perform law school. If they push again, repeat once. If they mock it, end. We're off mission. We discuss goals, constraints, and budget. Silence. If they can't name the number, they aren't ready for the map. Scene. The public probe. Them. With respect, that's naive. That's incorrect. The decision stands. Stand. Leave. Exits are sermons. Scene. Boss moralizing. Them. Be a team player. Take the extra scope. What metric and date earn the title? Silence. If fog, binary. I'll accept with title and comp or keep current scope. Scene. Family guilt. Them. Real family bends? I don't do unscoped favors. Each scene is the same game. Freeze, frame, finish. Decide, don't debate. Emotion under law. Metrics make this real, because feelings lie when you change. Track 5. Weekly. Pause integrity. Did you hold 2 beats before and after your key questions? Goal. Daily. Door discipline. Percent of requests you answered with a binary first. Goal, rising. Signer rate. Percent of meetings with the decision owner present. Goal, greater than 80. Scope seal. Percent of tweaks priced or moved to phase 2. Goal, 100. Exit index. Of meetings ended at the second interruption. Mach. Goal, non-zero. You're being captured. Correct. In 24 hours, raise the floor. Add the clause. Close the corridor. End the thread. Publish an outcome. You will slip. You will overexplain once this week. You will respond on inhale and feel the old sting of being moved. Neutralize within 24 hours. Raise the floor on the next opening. Add the clause you lacked. Shut the DM and push to the single channel. End the thread that refuses the law. Publish one outcome that reinforces your frame. If you delay, relapse hardens into culture. Culture is heavier than courage. Fix it fast. The person you become after these first 3 lessons will disturb people who fed on your softness. Let them be disturbed. You are not here to be consumed. You are here to move pieces. Again, breathe out before the last word. Count to 5. In silence. That silence is your new weight. Kindness survives inside law. Kindness without law is how wolves eat. You'll be shocked by how quickly rooms change when you stop selling apologies. They'll bring signers. They'll name numbers. They'll follow your pace. They'll test your edge less because they can finally feel it.
You'll take the next ruthless lessons. How to make rejection make you rarer instead of smaller. How to build an identity that doesn't react to bait. How to weaponize absence without creating enemies. And how to turn every no into gravity that raises your rate. Watch closely. No, you're losing because you keep trying to sell it. Value isn't sold, it's selected. And the world selects what appears certain, scarce, and stable under pressure. We started with 3 ruthless lessons. Now we switch on 3 more. If the first 3 made you hard to move, these make you impossible to price down, dismiss, or manipulate. Hook in. Lesson 4. Convert rejection into rarity. Rejection is not a verdict, it's a mirror. It reflects the frame you trained them to use on you. Most people treat no like a wound. Untouchable men treat no like a filter. You do not fight rejection with persuasion, you fight it with procedure. The after no procedure. Acknowledge. One word that ends the pity auction. Clarify position. If cost remains the priority, X fits. No defense, no diary. You've just turned their no into a map back to you. Withdraw presence. You don't drip proofs into their inbox to nurse your anxiety. You vanish into work. Absence prices oxygen. Publish outcome elsewhere. Short, stone. No names, no heat. You let reality rumor for you. Raise floor by a notch. Not out of spite, out of data. They told you their range. You left that neighborhood. Reappear only when the problem you solve becomes more visible than their pride. No gloating. Existence is enough. That's how you get domesticated. You're not trying to win them. You're teaching the market what it costs to mishandle you. We don't compete on price. We compete on finish lines. Promises are free. Deposits decide. Predictable under pressure. Offer expired Friday. Rarity is a behavior, not a brand. Endings created faster than slogans. Drill it in. The vacancy drill. After a declined proposal, schedule 0 follow-ups. Replace the urge to chase with one published outcome. Let the world warn itself. The floor tick. Every no that cites price bumps your minimum by 5 to 10% for the next opening. Not forever, for discipline. You're teaching your own throat to stop apologizing. The velvet close. When someone returns after no, you do not punish. You price. Glad priority shifted. New rate is X. Deposit Friday. Kind, final, paid. Lesson 5. Become psychologically unreachable. You don't become untouchable by numbing out. You become untouchable by making your interior non-negotiable space. Machiavelli feared dependency more than enemies. Dependency is when your mood belongs to the room. So we build a fortress, not to keep the world out, to keep your mission in. The 4 walls. Wall 1, breath law. You never speak on inhale. Inhale is pray. Exhale is rule. 3 times a day, rehearse. Exhale 6, speak on the last 2, drop your pitch by 1 note. Wall 2, binary law. Every request meets a door before a sentence. If the room refuses to choose, it refuses to decide. You end. Wall 3, channel law. 1 channel for decisions. No DO approvals, no side calls. Decisions via email. 1 weekly call. Chaos dies when you remove its corridors. Wall 4, calendar law. 2 windows weekly. No signer, no meeting. Deposit before calendar. Missed appointments move to the back. Exceptions are priced or scheduled. Your schedule is your shield. Hold it, and your nervous system stops bargaining with fear. You will be baited. Insults to trigger defense. Compliments to extract discounts. Silences to make you perform. Urgency to make you sprint. You are not a vending machine for reactions. Run the unreachable switchboard. Insult. That's incorrect. Compliment. Thank you. Silence. Count to 5. Let them pay with discomfort. Urgency. Rush exists at triple. If they mock your law, you don't defend your personality. You end the scene. We're off mission. Stand. Leave. Exits are sermons. Install micro cues so your body doesn't betray your boundaries. Hands quieter than your sentences. Head tilt once, then stillness. Walk 20% slower when pressed. Feet flat, heels down. 1 blink slower than usual before you answer. You're telling the room you belong to nobody's metronome. When you slip, and you will, you repair within 24 hours. Neutralize. Raise the floor. Add the clause. Close the corridor. End the thread. Publish an outcome. If you delay, relapse becomes culture. Culture is heavier than courage. Lesson 6. Weaponize absence without creating enemies. Most men try to be unforgettable with noise. You will be unforgettable with vanishing. Absence is not ghosting. Absence is pricing. You will disappear in ways that increase demand, not resentment. The absence architecture. Echo, exit, evidence. Echo. After a decision, you repeated once in writing, bone dry. Funds Friday. 1 link, 1 date, 0 filler. Exit. Then you disappear for a defined window, not to punish, to work. You do not check in to calm your insecurity. Your insecurity is not a stakeholder. Evidence. You return on schedule with the deliverable or the next verdict. You don't narrate the effort, you show the finish line. Use the 5 disappearances. Disappearance 1, from unscoped threads. If a conversation refuses doors, you leave. We're off mission. They'll learn faster without your oxygen. Disappearance 2, from non-signers. No authority, no access. If the owner won't appear, the problem isn't you. Disappearance 3, from midnight panic. Rush exists at triple. You don't bleed to prove you're loyal. You protect tomorrow's mission. Disappearance 4, from process fishing. We discuss goals, constraints, budget. They either wire or they wander. Both outcomes pay. Disappearance 5, from stage fights. At the second interruption or mock, you close the set. Endings create memory. Politeness erases it. Absence without structure looks like arrogance, so you anchor it to ritual humility. Publish errors as policies, not confessions. I overexplained last quarter. I allowed unscoped tweaks. No drama, just law that learns. Now we drop these 3 lessons into live fire so your throat holds steady. Public panel stack. Arrival peacocks. Moderator smiles. Crowd wants theater. You enter like weather. Silence. If mocked, that's incorrect. If mocked again, we're off mission. Stand. Leave. What they wanted was a duel. What you gave them was a door closing. Rooms remember doors. Enterprise stack. Procurement asks for your process, adds 2 small items, and waives net 60. We don't sell process, we sell outcomes. That's phase 2 or an add-on. Silence. If they claim policy, you answer with yours. Policies are peers. Boss stack. Be a team player. What metric and date earn the title? Silence. If fog, I'll accept with title and comp or keep scope. You didn't argue ethics, you enforced economics. Old client nostalgia. We go way back. That's phase 2 or an add-on. I don't do unscoped favors. Love with a gate is still love. Leak sealed. We keep this real with 5 weekly numbers. They are your truth when your feelings start lying. Pause integrity. 2 beat holds before-after questions. Goal daily. Door discipline. Percent of requests met with a binary. Goal rising. Signer rate. Percent of meetings with decision owner present. Goal greater than 80. Scope seal. Percent of changes priced or pushed to phase 2. Goal 100. Exit index. Of meetings ended at second mock or interrupt. Goal non-zero. 2 drops in a row? You're being captured. Correct in 24 hours. Cadence that welds this into bone. Monday, gate announcement. Openings Tuesday 2, Thursday 10. Tuesday, policy post. 1 sentence of law you enforced. Let the market hear the rule that saved you. No hype, just gravity. Thursday, ending rep. Close 1 thread early when the law is mocked. Friday, floor tick. Raise 1 minimum, hold 5 seconds after. Train your throat to carry stone. To some, the ones who needed you mushy. But the rooms that matter will call it clarity. They will match your cadence. They will bring signers. They will wire first. They will stop testing your edge because they can finally feel it. You want a sentence to keep you still when heat hits. Whisper it before you answer. Whisper it when the pause feels like drowning. It's not drowning. It's the sound of your crown settling. Scope or date. Speed or price. Best or earliest. That's phase 2 or an add-on. That's incorrect. We're off mission. Say them daily until your mouth stops reaching for apology. You are building something more than confidence. You're building custody. Custody of your breath, your time, your terms, your endings. You'll take the 7th and final ruthless lesson, the one that binds the others into an identity that bends rooms without noise. How to write personal law, how to enforce it with elegance, and how to close with the exact command your competitors steal because it makes people move. Watch closely. Right now, you keep trying to act powerful. You haven't become power. Acts fall apart under heat. Identity doesn't. You don't need another trick. You need a throne you can carry into any room. This is the last lesson, the binding lesson, the one that welds the other 6 into an operating system you can't fall out of when you're tired, rushed, praised, or attacked. He handed them law. Laws outlive mood. Laws outlast pressure. Laws don't ask your feelings for permission. You will become a state with rules. Your law has 3 pages. Page 1, charter. What is protected at all costs? Page 2, courts. How decisions are made. Page 3, consequences. What happens when the law is mocked? Make it simple enough to recite under adrenaline. Make it short enough to fit in your mouth. Make it strict enough to protect you when your approval addiction tries to renegotiate. Page 1, charter. What you protect. I protect outcomes, not optics. I protect pace, not panic. I protect scope, not stories. I protect treasury, time plus terms, not applause. I protect law, then offer warmth. Say that now, low and final. Again. Page 2, courts, how decisions are made. The court of breath. I never speak on inhale. Inhale is pray. Exhale is rule. The court of doors. Every ask meets a binary before a sentence. The court of silence. 5 seconds of quiet after decisions. 2 seconds before questions. Short verdicts, still hands. The court of evidence. I publish outcomes, X by Y under Z. I do not defend reputation with paragraphs when results exist. Page 3. Consequences. What happens when law is mocked? First mock, I restate the law once. Second mock, I end, we're off mission. Scope creep, add-on or phase 2. If refused, the room closes. Urgency games, rush pricing or next opening. No third category. Ghosting, offer expires Friday. Terms shift after. Rejection, after no procedure. Raise floor, publish outcome. Return only when their priorities shift. That's it. That's the country you are. That's the border your fear can't cross. You don't hope to remember. You read your law before you enter the arena that makes you stupid. Sales calls, status meetings, Thanksgiving. You tape it where your nervous system can't pretend it forgot. Now you will stage the final crucible. Because law without pressure is poetry, and you can't afford poems. We'll run the 7-scene gauntlet, 1 scene per lesson, so your identity learns to breathe under attack. Your throat reaches for an essay. Law stops it. Exhale. 2 seconds. Silence. Then doors. Scope or date. The room didn't need your childhood. It needed a spine. Scene 2. Decide, don't debate. Panel trap. Appear peacocks. The moderator smiles. The crowd wants theater. You give verdicts, not performances. That's incorrect. The decision stands. Second interruption. We're off mission. You don't beat them with volume. You beat them with endings. Old you explains. Law you observes. What lever is being pulled? Price, scope, or date. Insult dissolved into a bill. If cost remains the priority, X fits. You vanish. You publish a result. Your absence prices oxygen. They feel it when their direction runs into a wall. Thank you. Silence. No dopamine discount. Praise without price is just perfume on hunger. Scene 6. Weaponized absence. Midnight panic. Can you take a look tonight? Rush exists at triple. If they can't, you don't perform sacrifice theater. You protect tomorrow's mission. Absence without law is arrogance. Absence with law is architecture. Scene 7. Law as identity. Boss moralizes. Be a team player. Take the extra scope. What metric and date earn the title? Silence. Fog persists. I'll accept with title and comp, or keep current scope. You don't have an attitude. You have a constitution. Now make it harder. Stack 3 at once. Public probe, low anchor, consensus. We can reduce scope to match your number or keep scope at my rate. Silence. Silence. We don't sell hours. We sell outcomes. We're off mission. Stand. Leave. Rooms worship exits delivered without anger. Or rush plus nostalgia plus virtue. Them, we go way back. Help us out tonight. Rush exists at triple. Silence. You just chose mission over mythology. This is the point where your old life would start to shake your hand from the inside. You answer with law, not feelings. Rush rate or standard. That's phase 2 or an add-on. That's incorrect. We're off mission. If your mouth can't say those without apology, your body still belongs to the room. Train until it doesn't. We'll weld law into muscle with 7 ceremonies. 1 per day for 7 days. No flexibility. Flexibility is what got you captured. Day 1, the charter oath. Morning, 60 seconds. Read page 1 aloud. Count 5 seconds of silence. Start your day inside your country. Day 2, the door drill. All day. Every ask meets a binary before a sentence. No exceptions. Your brain will try to add a paragraph. Break its hand. Openings. Tuesday 2, Thursday 10. If someone begs for just this once, price it or push to next week. Your schedule is your spine. Day 4. The ending rep. Anytime. End one thing early. A meandering call,
a DM that wants your blood, a thread that refuses doors. Endings teach your nervous system that you will not abandon it to politeness. Day 5. The Evidence Stone, Afternoon. Publish one outcome, X by Y under Z. No names, no heat. Whispers that matter are built from stones, not stories. Day 6. The Silence Tax, Every Decision. After every verdict, hold 5 seconds. The room pays with discomfort. You stop paying with essays. If your page is blank, your law is fantasy. Fix tomorrow. Metrics close the loop. Keep them like a ruler, not a mood ring. Pause integrity, 2-beat holds before-after questions. Door discipline, percent of asks answered with a binary, rising. Signer rate, percent of meetings with decision owner present, over 80%. Scope seal, percent of changes priced or in phase 2, 100%. Exit index, number of meetings ended at second mock, interrupt, non-zero. After no gravity, number of inbounds citing outcomes you shipped post-decline, weekly. Floor integrity, percent of work at or above minimum, 100%. You are being captured. Correct in 24 hours. Raise the floor. Add the clause. Close the corridor. End the thread. Publish an outcome. You've noticed the pattern by now. Nothing here asks the world to be different. Everything here arranges you to be unmoved by it. That is what mentally untouchable means. Not robotic, ruthless about custody. Custody of breath, custody of doors, custody of gates, custody of silence, custody of endings, custody of absence, custody of law. People will test you less because they can finally feel you. Not noise, wait. They will bring signers. They will name budgets. They will stop fishing for your process. They will feel the cost of your oxygen and decide with money instead of manipulation. The right ones will stay. The wrong ones will remove themselves. That's not loss. That's filtering. You will hear new whispers. The only marketing that matters. You didn't beg for that reputation. You enforced for it. And the market taught itself. If you want to bless your future self, do this tonight. Write your law on one page. Read it aloud. Put it where your fear can't pretend it forgot. On your desk, your dashboard, your lock screen. Tomorrow, obey it once when it hurts. Once is enough to break a decade. You are not here to be liked by people who thrive on your tremble. You are here to bend rooms by existing inside rules stronger than their bait. Say the creed, slow and final, so your bones accept it as oxygen. I don't sell my peace to buy your approval. I don't sell my hours to buy your hope. I don't sell my standards to buy your story. I choose terrain, I choose timing, I choose terms. Exhale. Count 5. Feel the quiet build weight around you like armor. You wanted 7 ruthless lessons that make you mentally untouchable. You have them. Now stop auditioning for a world that only respects law. Final command. Like this video if you're done performing for rooms that never plan to pay you. Subscribe if you're ready to become the kind of person they can't rush, can't price down, and can never move without your consent. Because this isn't self-help. This is war.